Hello, and welcome to the Taste of Friendship. My name is Emily Funk, and I am the Advanced Culinary Arts teacher here at Friendship High School. Today, we're going to be making delicious and easy breakfast recipes that are going to be sure to wow a crowd. Our chefs assisting today are Luis Nevares, Rachel Starr, and King Roger. The first recipe we're going to start off with is our Tiger Pride breakfast casserole. It's got all of those delicious classic breakfast recipes with a little Southwest flair. Luis is going to be showing us how to do that after the break.
To start off our Tiger Pride breakfast casserole, I went ahead and sauteed these breakfast meats, bacon and sausage, and afterwards I cut up an onion and I added that to the bacon grease just for a little extra flavor. Afterwards I cracked 6 eggs and I added about a 1/4 cup of milk to this small bowl, and then afterwards we're gonna add these onions and the green chilies for a little bit extra flavor.
If you're not a fan of green chilies, you can certainly use jalapenos or serrano peppers for kick, or if you're not a big fan of spice, you can just omit the peppers altogether. It's really up to you. We love the roasted flavor of the green chili, and that's why we add it in, and we're also in the West Texas area, so we like a little kick.
And after that, I went ahead and made these biscuits from scratch. It has just flour, baking powder, shortening, and salt. And I cut those up into bite-sized pieces, as Rachel's going to show us right now. After that, she's going to go ahead and add them.
For the biscuits, if you don't have time to make your own biscuits at home, you could certainly buy the refrigerated store brand. We like the flavor and the texture of a homemade biscuit. We let ours chill in the fridge for about half an hour to really set to give it that nice texture in our breakfast casserole.
After that, we're going to go ahead and add the this breakfast sausage. King, if you'll add the breakfast sausage. While he's doing that, I'm going to go ahead and add the onions and the green chilies. King will also add the cheddar cheese, about 1/2 cup. And then to finish it off, Rachel will add the egg mix.
That egg is going to act like a custard in our breakfast casserole and pull everything together and make sure all of our flavors really get comfortable together and they marry well.
And just finish, and after this, we'll go ahead and add it or put it into the oven at 350 degrees for about 30 minutes.
And as he's putting that in the oven, Rachel and King are going to demonstrate how to make our fruit kebabs. They're really easy. They're a crowd pleaser. It adds a little bit of color to our breakfast theme that we have going on. Any fruit that you want to do seasonal. Right now we have pineapple, watermelon, grape, and strawberry. Rachel's going to demonstrate how to chop a little bit of our pineapple up. You want to make sure that these are bite-sized chunks. You don't want them too big so that people have to take them off and they have to do things with them. They want to be able to just bite right into them. It's great. And from there, you can mix and match your fruits. As you can see, our little pineapple dip over there, you can do watermelon, grape, pineapple, any combination of any of the kebabs to make sure that they look good. Beautiful. And then from there, the last little part of our fruit kebab display, we made a cream cheese fruit dip that has cream cheese, Cool Whip, a little bit of vanilla extract, and for a little extra lift, we also have some marshmallow fluff in there as well. And we just mixed that all together, hollowed out a pineapple for presentation, and added that all together. After the break, we're going to show you how to make cornflake crusted French toast with bruleed bananas.
So now we'll be making our cornflake crusted French toast. This consists of a dredge. To start the dredge off, you put 2 large eggs, our vanilla extract, a pinch of nutmeg and 1/4 of a teaspoon of cinnamon, and 2 tablespoons of milk. You're gonna wanna get a good whisk on this because you don't want the dredge to be runny.
A dredge is really just a coating for our bread to make sure that our cornflakes stick and to also give it that nice, light, custardy texture to it.
Okay, so after the dredge is done, you're gonna take one of your toasts. We use Texas toast because it's bigger and everything's bigger in Texas. So you dip, and then Rachel here is gonna show us how to do the cornflakes, how to crush them.
So you're going to take your cornflakes, and I'm using a dry measuring cup, and we're going to just break them down slightly, but still leave them big enough to make sure that there's texture added to it.
And instead of cornflakes, you could also use Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Fruit Loops, Captain Crunch, any kind of cereal will do for this. We just like the kind of basic texture of the cornflake and that texture that it's going to give our French toast.
Okay, so Rachel, you will take one of these and put them on the bottom and then start flipping.
So I'm going to press the toast into the cornflakes, and then I'm going to flip it over to get the other side coated as well. If you don't get an even coat, then you can always sprinkle some additional ones on top and press them lightly into the toast.
Okay, this one's almost done.
From there, they're just going to transfer the cornflake crusted French toast to a baking sheet to get it ready to fry in the back. It really helps to set up your dredging stations beforehand so that you have a nice little assembly line. It can get pretty messy, they're using their hands, but you could also use tongs throughout the process to keep everything nice and clean. So from here, we're gonna head over to the grill and we're gonna get these nice and toasted up for you. And then afterwards, we're gonna show you how to make a bruleed banana. All right, so now we're gonna head to the grill.
From here, you don't want your heat to be too hot because you don't want to burn the toast. You just want a nice little flame to keep the bread not burnt. You're gonna add some butter. Butter helps with the non-stickness and also gives it a little bit more flavor. Just wait for that to heat up.
We're using a grill pan here to get those nice grill marks on our French toast, but you could also use a non-stick skillet, anything you want. You can even bake the French toast if you don't feel like frying it up or if you're doing a lot of quantities at once. That looks pretty good.
Okay, once our heat is perfect, you butter both sides of the skillet, not both sides. You'll be buttering both sides of the bread, not the skillet.
And we also love to work with cast iron in our kitchens. It's a great conductor of heat and it also imparts a lot of flavor to our dishes.
So Louise will be putting on a couple.
I'm gonna turn up your heat just a smidge.
It's perfectly fine.
There we go.
And this toast is going to take approximately 3 to 4 minutes to get that nice golden brown color on each side.
When we talked about types of bread, you can also use fresh French bread or brioche. Really any bread that you have on hand will work for this recipe. The thinner bread cuts, a normal sandwich bread, you could also just cook it less time than our thick Texas toast.
Right here, we're just waiting for that golden brown at the bottom.
And I cranked up the heat. It's kind of like watching water boil, but we should have a little bit of action going on underneath. So Rachel's gonna check every now and then on our French toast to make sure that we're getting the color that we want and to make sure that our cornflakes are sticking to our French toast. Almost there?
It's getting there.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
It's on the way.
When we make this recipe with our Cinnamon Toast Crunch, or we've also done it with Fruit Loops, it's fun to see the different types of color that it imparts on the bread. If you're doing the cornflake, we're going to show you that we also use some strawberries to brighten up the color of the dish, because it can kind of get one-dimensional with the toast and the cornflakes, and then also with the syrup being in the same color family. That looks pretty good. I'd go, yep, it's ready to flip. Rachel is our expert at flipping our cornflake crusted French toast, because you want to be able to flip it without getting any of the crust off of there.
And then we're just gonna rebutter it. We're just gonna rebutter the skillet itself.
There we go, that nice sizzle, that's what we're looking for. Beautiful. All right, now they're going back for side 2. I'll take that for you.
They smell great. I know you can't smell it, but
Only cameras could pick up smell.
I would turn your heat down just a smidge. We don't want that second side to burn. The second side will also take about half the cooking time that the first side takes. Nice.
It's already getting there.
Yep. Again, if you were cooking for a crowd, you would either want to do this in batches or have a couple of skillets going at the same time to make sure that everyone gets their hot, fresh French toast at the same time. Yeah, I'd go ahead and pull them. Perfect. All right, so we're just gonna turn off our heat and head back to our prep station. We're gonna show you how to cut them. All right, so now that we have our French toast cooked, King's gonna show you how we cut and plate our French toast, as well as show you how to brulee a banana.
okay. So you can cut it any way you like, but we just like cutting it into diagonal shapes because it gives that level.
This dish can be on the heavier side because it's a lot of bread, a lot of carbs. So we find that about half a slice per person is plenty. But if you're really hungry that day, of course, a slice or two will do just fine.
Okay.
Perfect.
Just put that off to the side right there. And then this plate, we just like putting it in a nice clean pattern. Gives it that extra, that je ne sais quoi, as you could say.
While King is plating the toast, I am going to demonstrate how we cut our bananas and then coat them with brown sugar, and King will brulee them.
So brulee is really just kind of a sugar crust that we're going to put over the top of our bananas for added texture and interest to our cornflake crusted French toast. If you do not have a blowtorch like we have here, you could certainly torch your bananas in the oven on the broiler setting, or you could even put some butter in a pan with brown sugar and saute the bananas up that way. We're really just looking for that caramelized richness of flavor in our bananas. We have a few here that we've already pre-done. Rachel's just slicing them on the angle to give us a little more surface on our bananas. And then from there, we're using dark brown sugar. The extra molasses content in the dark brown is what helps caramelize and crystallize the sugar, but you could use light brown sugar or even white sugar if you have that on hand. So we've sliced our banana, and then we're gonna add some brown sugar. And then King's gonna fire up the torch. There we are. Now that flame's pretty high, so he's going to knock that down a little bit. If our flame is too hot, it's going to burn the sugar too quickly, and we really want to get that sugar nice and melted on there. So we're going to go low flame on this. Perfect. All right, King, let it rip. And you can see with the application of heat, the sugar immediately starts to melt and caramelize. And he's just working really quickly back and forth and letting that heat roll. Beautiful. From there, Rachel's going to add a second layer of brown sugar to really get that caramelization on our bananas. And if you've ever had a creme brulee, that kind of tough, crunchy sugar crust, once the sugar hardens it, it's gonna create that nice crust for us. So we've got the softness of the banana with the crunch of the brown sugar. All right, so King's just gonna go back and hit that one more time with our torch.
When you're torching them, you don't want to use too much heat, as Miss Funk said, because you don't want to burn them. You like them just nice, golden brown.
And with that application, again, that heat is pretty strong and it happens pretty quickly. Beautiful. Oh, so ready for this. All right, so from there, Rachel's gonna show you how to add on your bruleed bananas to your French toast, as well as show you how to plate.
So I'm going to take our miniature spatula right here, and I'm going to place one of the bananas on top of the toast right here, adding a balance effect to it, which makes it look better.
The bruleed bananas is totally optional. We love the flavor and the texture that it gives to the dish, but if you wanted to omit bananas or if you wanted to try this with apples, you could do the same process with apples. Really any fruit that you wanted to do, you could do this with, or just top with fresh strawberries or fresh bananas. Beautiful.
Just one more.
The last step in the French toast game is going to be topping it with our fresh maple syrup and a little dusting of powdered sugar. Don't watch your calories for this meal. It's not going to help you out. This is not waistline friendly, but it's delicious.
It's worth that extra 5 pounds.
That's right.
Okay.
So next I'm going to drizzle our maple syrup over the dish.
The natural sweetness that's already in our dredging liquid is going to really help enhance the flavor of the dish. And then obviously with the maple and the banana, there's going to be a nice balance of sweetness there.
What we've done here, we've taken a strawberry and we fanned it. This will just give that extra color because it is all in the same color family, brown and brown. So
And
now
then
I'm just gonna take this and I'm just gonna
all over the top, as if it wasn't already delicious. Let's add a little bit more to it. Oh yeah. Perfect. And that is how you make cornflake crusted French toast with bruleed bananas. After the break, we're gonna pull it all together and show you our breakfast buffet. We hope you've enjoyed our take on some breakfast classics. We made our cornflake crusted French toast with our bruleed bananas. Our breakfast casserole is out of the oven. Luis is going to show us how to cut that and plate it really quick. This casserole can serve 6 to 8 people, depending on how hungry your crowd is. We're going to give a healthy portion, a healthy size here. Oh yeah, look at the cheese. We also like to serve our breakfast casserole with a little bit of salsa. Again, if you're not a spice head, you can leave the salsa out altogether. And don't forget to lighten everything up. We did our fruit kebabs with our fruit dip, and we're gonna serve that with some orange juice and milk. Again, we hope you've enjoyed today's show, and be sure to tune in next time for the Taste of Friendship.